Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
Hey, welcome back to the Primal Scream. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And today we are in the Black Earth Gallery. And if you don't know what the Black Earth Gallery is, you can check out their website, blackearthgallery.com. But first, before we get to Anne and her Black Earth Gallery, let's talk about It Works. This episode of the Primal Scream podcast is sponsored by It Works, independent distributor Kathy Sculla. Go to kathysculla.myitworks.com. And I'm just going off the cuff tonight because I don't have my laptop with me. You can check out their vitamins, their lotions, their greens. I like the chewable greens. My kids like the chewable greens.
My kids love the chewable greens.
They sound like dog treats or something illegal.
No, but you know what you could do. You might be able to take the greens and then put them in like doggy biscuit form. Maybe they would like to choose.
Oh.
But if you want to check it out, go to kathysculla.myitworks.com. And also those little things called, hey, have you seen that crazy wrap thing? You wrap yourself, tightens, tones, and firms. I personally haven't done that. But I'll tell you what, she has been asking me if I would do this challenge that another guy did, and she wants to document it. And in that case, I would have to tighten
as long as you're like chugging a 40-ounce Pepsi while you get the wrap on you.
Good. Yeah.
So I'm absolutely trying to be the alternative of the wrap. Go ahead.
But anyway, go to kathysculla.myitworks.com and check that out. Another one of our sponsors
in this building,
a business that helps us out from time to time, actually all the time, is Ecolips. Go to ecolips.com.
You.
There you go.
Heard that.
Love Steve.
I think Ann likes that.
Steve Shriver and his One World Ecolips. His go to myecolips.com and you can create your own Ecolips, which is crazy, sick, awesome. Choose from ingredients, labels, and containers. Right?
Yep.
Lip balm.
Yep.
Over 2 billion combinations. Check it out. Go to myecolips.com or ecolips.com. Either or. You'll find your place. Also,
Sweet Raw Joy.
Sweet Raw Joy. Did you bring any?
What's that?
Sweet Raw Joy, if Todd would have remembered, they're these perfect, tiny little put-em-theirs. They're organic. They're raw. They're uncooked.
Food?
Desserts.
Desserts to live for.
And they're
What are they
incredible.
called
Sweet Raw Joy. Go to sweetrawjoy.com, order some, or just right down the street. There's some at Hy-Vee sells them.
Oh, really?
They sell them.
Yep. Not the first Ave Hy-Vee, probably more Oakland.
But you can go to sweetrawjoy.com.
Yeah.
On their website, click on the where to purchase button. It tells you all that information.
The best part about it is when I don't know about you, but when I have peanut M&Ms like that, that bowl would last about 5 seconds for me.
Yeah. You could.
Whereas if I have like a third of one of these chocolate truffles that she
it's
makes.
like a medallion. There's no kidding. It's like this big.
And you take a bite of it and you're like, you're done. It's rich. It's satiated. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe for you guys.
We'll do the Sweet Raw Joy challenge someday.
I beat you.
See how many
Gorge yourself.
See how many medallions you can eat.
And then at the end, when we're completely full and we can't move around, we'll be like, it's still good for us.
It's all raw.
Because it's all raw and uncooked and live microorganisms. It's good for you. Go to sweetrawjoy.com. That's what I'm telling you. Do it. Yep. Also, our last one that we really enjoy a lot, brings a lot of... You would have been great.
Yeah, she would have been fantastic.
We should have brought it. I wish I would have. This is my fault this time. But Todd thought maybe this is too highfalutin.
I never, ever thought this was too highfalutin. What are you talking about?
Hey, you gonna help her out with her mic? You want to tighten that up?
I touched the mic. I touched the mic.
You're perfect.
It's drooping.
It's falling.
It's falling.
It's not me.
It's not you.
There.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's much better.
All right, good. Perfect.
You forgot what?
I forgot
you
Cards
forgot.
Against Humanity. Have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
No.
If you haven't, it's
son of a
probably
bitch.
the most inappropriate adult game you'll ever play or pray. Pray after you play. You might need to.
You ever play Apples to Apples with your kids?
Yes.
It's an adult version of Apples to Apples, and it's like highly inappropriate.
Yes.
I would have won.
Oh, man. She's like throwing down the gauntlet. Everything.
Yeah.
I would have
This is
won.
not just going to be a one-parter. We might have to come back to Black Earth Gallery.
Oh, she meant to come to the studio so we
Or
can
come to the
really throw
studio.
down.
Yeah, absolutely. But go to cardsagainsthumanity.com, order it for $25, or get it for free. You can download it.
Open
free.
source, baby.
It's open source. That's what's great. And if you purchase it, they will also make a donation to your local charity in your area. Not just their local
Nice.
charity,
I
your
have a-
local charity.
They're awesome.
I have a local charity. So.
Yeah.
What's your local charity? Let's jump in.
New Bohemia Group.
Oh, cool.
Yep. They support all the events and everything that's going on down here. Steve Shriver's the president.
Oh, go figure.
Go figure.
Go figure.
You know
Well,
what?
he has a finger in that pie, too.
Should he have like a big NB medallion, like a Superman crest, but it
Don't
says
forget his
NB
crown.
for New Bone
Crown.
and the crown,
Yeah.
and his Entrepreneur of the Year award,
Yeah. The entrepreneur, that could be on a chain around his neck.
his bling with perfectly nourished lips, and his flowing
Flowing
look
locks.
hair. God, I'm so jealous of you, Steve, with your hair.
Oh,
It's
you
crazy.
rock the bald. Seriously.
Thank you. I appreciate
Seriously, my
that.
husband's bald too. So.
Oh,
It's a
there you
good
go.
look.
Yeah, it's a
So
good
anyway,
look.
go to cardsagainsthumanity.com, get it, have fun, and let's begin.
All right, you want some current events?
Let's go with current events.
So the coolest thing that I read recently, and I forget his name. So I'm obviously on all over.
Yeah, we're
it.
starting
Yeah,
off well.
really great. But he was a professional football player for the St. Louis Rams. Gave up, I think, a $40 million contract. And
John
became a
McEnroe.
farmer.
He's a farmer. I know him. I don't know him. I know about him. I
Really?
read him.
You met
was-
him.
No, I didn't meet him.
You read about him.
I read about him. My
Okay.
son's a farmer, so I paid attention.
Yeah.
Your son's a farmer.
He's an organic farmer.
Where at?
Just outside of, it's Dave Miller Farm. Dave Miller Farm. He has a farm outside of Lisbon, Mount Vernon area. It's not the Miller Farm that you see with the corn. He's a vegetable farmer, and he used to supply Lincoln Cafe with all the organics.
Yum.
stuff.
So,
So,
done
of
with
course,
that
what am I doing for
clothes.
Thanksgiving? I bought all the potatoes and onions and beets and radishes and carrots from him because my son helped him raise and cook them.
Oh, that's
So yeah,
awesome.
so I know about this football player.
Awesome.
I
I
thought
think
that was
it's
kinda-
cool.
But he
So
gives
what-
all of his food away. He farms his food and
He
then
does.
he gives it away
All
to
the
people,
homeless.
homeless people that need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't listening because I generally don't do that when you talk.
That's okay. We'll repeat.
Not
so
you, it's me.
you said he is an NFL football player, or
No,
he
he
gave up.
was. He gave up a
He
contract.
gave up the football playing
Mhm.
to be a farmer,
And sweet potatoes is his thing.
Right.
and he gives away
Yeah.
food.
He gives away food.
Anybody who comes and helps and works the farm can take whatever they want, and he also gives it away.
Where's this at?
I think it's Missouri.
It's someplace warmer than here.
I think it's like
Every
southern
place is
Missouri
warmer than here.
today.
Not South Dakota.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Yeah. Way to call him on his
Buffalo.
bullshit.
Let's have 3 more feet
Oh
of
yeah,
snow.
Buffalo.
There you go.
That was great. You were showing me the pictures of that.
Those, well, I've seen it even more. The cool ones are the ones people have made refrigerators. There's a wall of snow, and so you open their door, and they've built shelves, and there's like bottles of beer, there's cheese
Hey,
and milk.
I'm telling you, the outside is a second refrigerator for me during Thanksgiving. I'll put everything outside by the house, and it won't. I'm not playing with my hair. I'm just
By the way,
she's judging.
Ann told us
if I play with my hair too much, just tell me. 'Cause I
verbally
have
slap her hand.
curly hair.
You must judge once in a while.
Zhuzh?
Judge your
I
hair.
need to
Dude,
shush it.
where'd you get that? Bravo?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I love Bravo. It's
Oh,
funny.
the music awards were last night. That's another current event.
I think I watched part of that, and
On
I was just
MTV?
kind of like,
Best.
I'm
What's
just
your fave?
bored. I'm just bored by it.
Yeah. What was your favorite though? I know. I hate Taylor Swift. Oh. I do.
I obviously she's a good songwriter, and
She
she's
has-
hitting a lot of people, hitting a nerve with people. But
she has fans.
She has
Her
fans.
range is about like this because my daughter's an opera singer, and Taylor Swift's range about this. But she's
Right.
just really pretty. That's all.
Yeah, and she started out country, and she kind of crossed over.
Yeah, she did.
I still think the Foo Fighters are like.
Oh, I've seen them in concert. Yes, at Lollapalooza.
So I just
like
kind of.
Lord.
Okay, Lord's good.
She's trippy and weird, and I love
Lord?
her.
She is.
Lord.
Lord.
What
Yeah.
did she sing? Hum a few bars.
What is
You
her?
gotta be royals.
Okay, yeah.
Da, 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 da.
All right. She can
I was
do
singing her
it.
back up. See, I was backing her up.
You know what I heard? You know what I really like? I didn't do the music awards, but I did listen to Casey Kasem's American Top 40 I don't know. I got into a vehicle the other day.
Aren't you too young for that?
No. The previous driver had it on, and I don't know how to access this on the weekend. I don't know what channel it was even on. But it was it's like American Top 40s. It was the mid 80s.
104.5. They replay like the old ones back in the day.
It was the debut American Top 40 of Madonna's Like a Virgin. Oh my God, did that take me back and make me feel young again?
Yeah.
To think.
Were you in like 5th grade? I was in high school.
That was 80. That was 84, 85.
Yeah,
wasn't
I was
it?
in high school.
Yeah.
No, no, it was earlier than that. I was in high school. I graduated in 82 from Washington High School. It was earlier than that.
Okay, because
Like a Virgin was like
6. I was a sophomore.
it was probably a rerun.
It had to have been in
See, you guys are
81.
such babies.
Yeah, I was in elementary.
Yeah, you'd have to be.
But
You just keep-
I
I
remember
was in
You just
elementary
kept
school. I just
listening to
loved Like a Virgin.
You
I
did.
just remember
you kept
that.
listening to it secretly.
yeah, that and Cyndi Lauper.
Oh yeah. But see, that's what I mean. I
True
think
Colors or Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Girls Just Want to Have
Have
Fun
Fun,
was really
yeah.
the big one
Yeah.
for me that I remember. But yeah,
that was during the Karate Kid era. That's all kind of
It
same
was.
time.
that and
Karate
the
Kid.
whole
So I was in
Breakfast Club. Anything
Oh,
Breakfast
you know,
Club
I
Grade,
like
ish.
the
sixth
Breakfast
grade,
Club.
5th or 6th grade. I was somewhere in there when that was all going on.
Judd Nelson
Anyways,
was hot.
Just watching like catching clips of the American Music Awards. I was just kind of like, you know, and Dave Grohl's is having this new show on HBO where he's traveling to certain cities that are musically influential. So he has like Motown ones. Last night was Nashville.
I was going to say Nashville's huge.
Yeah, and so every time he goes somewhere, he is working on a song that kind of specifically kind of is from about that place.
That's cool.
It was really cool, and it's a country singer. Wears a stocking cap all the time.
Stocking cap?
Yeah,
Usually they wear
With a
cowboy hats.
Brim?
Jack Brown band.
No idea.
Nope.
I haven't heard them.
Nope. Fuck. No, he's a very popular country singer. And then they used his recording studio in Nashville as this documentary, right? Mm-hmm. And I've always Zach Brown. There you go. Zach Brown band. So he started learning classical guitar when he was 5.
Wow.
And then he would go to camp and he would see guys strumming, and he'd be like, "Oh, I can only do this fancy.
I can only do the really, 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 really hard shit."
That's what I thought. He goes, "Well, show me what those are. What those are chords? What's a chord?" And so he didn't even know what chords were because he was used to playing classical.
He's a savant.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was
know.
really
He's,
neat.
really good.
And so, but then hearing him talk, but he's kind of a rebel. He recorded some song, and these guys got a hold of him and said, "Hey, we'd like to record this song as well. Do you care if we put it on our album?" He's like, "Yeah, you can put it on your album and record it, but don't put it on the radio because this is going to be my hit song that I want to throw out there." Well, supposedly this one guy who kind of runs Nashville, like this big head music guy, said, "I like that song. Play it on the radio." Zach Brown said he heard it on the radio and said, "I'm calling my lawyer. You said you weren't going to fucking do this, and now you're doing it." And he said like 2 or 3 years later, he was at a bar, and this guy came up and said, "Hey, I want to meet the guy who told me to fuck off." And it was this huge, like somebody said that if you actually go up against this guy, you may never play in Nashville ever again. Like he'll shut you out. Well, the guy actually admired him for it and said, "I want to meet the guy who told me to fuck off." Because usually people are just like
his card because he'll never probably do that again for anybody else.
yeah.
Wait. Hipster, like stocking cap guy without a hat for Nashville? Like country western, really?
Yeah, and like his guitar playing is just phenomenal. And so he, at the American Music Awards, Dave Grohl happened to be there when they were shooting it, and he invited Dave Grohl to play drums with him on stage. And that was really cool. Because he said he likes
shifting gears, I want to ask you about, did you hear anything about ABC, NBC, CBS not airing the president's speech?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more on that? Because I only saw the headline. They thought
it was too politically driven or too politically, kind of like, poking the eye to the GOP. And so they all felt like airing it would be like airing just one side of the debate and not both. And so that's why they chose not to. Now, NPR and PBS and those kind of shows just played it.
Of course they did.
But everybody's just like, why would he's the president of the United States? Why would
Has
you
that
not?
ever
Why
happened
would you?
before?
No.
Can anybody ever think of any
no.
I
time?
don't think so.
I think it's wrong. The whole thing is like it's a teaching situation, right? You have to hear both sides, or else we cannot make an educated choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and see, the thing is the GOP usually comes up with an alternative viewpoint that they could air that as well. you know? So, I mean, that's the part that was kind of odd was, okay, I can understand them.
I think all they had was Sarah Palin talking about something, so.
Probably. But that was the main reason why, is that they didn't have they felt like it was just too politically driven because the GOP was already going against what he was going to say and on Fox News and on the radio and stuff like that.
This is about the immigration stuff?
Yep. And the funny part is that they're already going against it, but Reagan, Bush 41, Clinton, Bush 43, all of them have done the exact same thing that Obama did with amnesty. They've all done the same thing. This is not odd. It's not out of character.
It's not new.
It's not new by any means.
On my way home from work the other night, I carpool with a buddy of mine, and he goes, "That's fucking immigration reform bullshit." I go, "Oh, you know what? I want to talk to you about this. What are you so upset about? What bothers you so much about illegal immigrants?" He goes, "Well, they don't pay their taxes. They don't pay their fair share." I go, "All right. So is that really it? Is that really it? Is that the only thing? If it wasn't that, are you a racist?" He's like, "No, I'm not racist. I have no problem with other people as long as they're citizens. If you're not a citizen, go get fucked." Right? So I said, "All right. Well, how about this for a solution? Whoever's here, you're a citizen. We don't make a big deal of it. We let you be a citizen. It's just like easy peasy lemon squeezy. Sign your name. You're a citizen. You pay your taxes. You go to the hospital. You pay your fair share. You're treated like everybody else. Everyone else treats you the same. Well, so what's the big deal?" He goes, "What? That just didn't fucking seem right." I go, "Yeah, you're all pissed off and you're not willing to listen."
Oh, it sounds like in New York in what year? When everybody was an immigrant?
And also,
we're all mutts. We're all mutts.
The idea that they don't pay taxes is also a fallacy. If they buy anything, they pay sales tax. If they get a paycheck from somebody, they pay FICA, they pay state, they do everything the same. Now, if they're being paid cash under the table, yes, they don't pay any taxes. But if they go buy gas for their car or they go buy groceries, they're paying sales tax on that. It's not like they're getting this free ride. Now, do they have to pay federal income tax? No, they don't. But at the same time, they are being taxed in other ways. It's not like you just get stuff and, if I get $100 and I go spend $100 at the grocery store, I'm going to pay taxes on that by the sales tax that I have. Not groceries, but you know what I'm saying? If I go buy something, I'm going to pay sales tax. Right. So it's not like they don't ever pay taxes.
Right.
Now, specifically FICA and state and stuff like that, you're right. They don't. But the idea would be that if you documented them, then they would have to.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing is the GOP is already kind of wavering a little bit because businesses are saying, "Hey, listen." Sorry, I just wake on the mic.
That was your own fault.
That was my own fault. They said, "Listen, we're not going to. If you take away this amnesty, right?
Yeah.
Then we are going to lose our workers."
Well, not only that, isn't that how the United States was developed? I mean, that was how.
Yeah, one of the guys that I was working with is very Italian, and so he's angry. We're talking about this. He's emotionally charged. I'm like, "You know what? Shut the fuck up, you wop." He goes, "What?" I go, "Without papers." That's what Italians were called back in the day, and they were looked down upon, just like you're looking down upon other people. Mm-hmm. You're no better than them. We're all human beings. So the one thing that you're pissed off about is you say that they're not paying their fair share. So if you just sign them all up, you're an American citizen, they're paying their fair share, and then shut the fuck up.
If you strip away the idea of the greed and the politics involved, then it becomes a really simple issue. Do people need help? Then you help them. And if life is that terrible where they're at and they come here, because the idea that they're taking away our jobs is also completely ridiculous to me. Because
it's a fact.
Because unless somebody else wants to go mow a lawn, or
if they weren't there,
only if they're not paying taxes is the problem, because they're not paying for their health care. They're not paying for a lot of stuff.
And that's understandable.
But if you make them citizens, they have to.
Yeah, exactly. So it falls more on the fault of business owners and farmers who aren't documenting who's coming in.
Because if they kicked out everybody that was not legal, then we wouldn't have fresh produce in the grocery store. It's just that simple.
Why? But wait. Because I don't want to work for $10 an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I went to a 4-year degree and blah 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 blah. I mean, that's the thing. We're spoiled.
Have to suck it up.
Well, we don't have to apply the OSHA standards to immigrants out in the field bent over breaking their backs all day long.
Well, I think
It's
they
not
just passed a
easy.
law. They just passed a law too, where they
do
talked
it.
about how the companies take
Musician.
advantage of
Playing
these.
with my hair.
They get a certain amount of money per basket, but
Right.
the farmers make them round the top, stack them
Which
up
is
so they're-
different, which
so
is
which is
more.
an extra third of a basket. So they're carrying a basket and a third, but only getting paid for one basket.
Right.
Again, there's just all these little ways just to kind of fucking nickel and dime people.
To screw people over.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, it goes. I guess why I said greed. It goes by. If you're just going to say, "Hey, you bust your ass for me," and instead of me being a millionaire, I'll make $500,000 this year. I'm still comfortable. My family's okay. I have a roof over my head, but I don't need to make a gazillion dollars.
Right. How much money do you really fucking need to live?
Right. But then you go back to the whole thing, like Joe Rogan says. So now you're going to tell me what I can and can't make money on.
Yeah. Why do you have a right to tell me how much money I can make?
Right. But then that's the idea of that's why the Gilded Age happened. It's because people were just fucking raking in the dough, and they took the thousands of people who were working for them and didn't give them shit. That's why it happened. And then that's where regulatory things come into play where, okay, so if I didn't have any of you, I wouldn't have a business.
Right.
So I'm going to support you because you make what I have.
Costco was voted like the number
Absolutely.
one place to work, right?
They make
Costco.
$15 an hour, I think. They have health care. Their CEO only makes $300,000, $400,000 a year. I'm sure he has a shitload of stock options and things like that to make up the difference. But he said that he didn't feel comfortable making $250%
Million.
more
Yeah.
than his workers did. He gave them Thanksgiving off, little things like that.
Yeah, what a great business model. So how can we segue this to the Black Earth Gallery? Or did you actually have something
how
positive?
about
'Cause
Black Earth?
she
How
has,
about
like-
Black Friday? Ooh. I am open, but it's not for that.
What are you open for?
That's the normal hours?
Because I'm closed on Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
And all my relatives will be gone. I'll be done with Thanksgiving. And this show that I'm showing right now, which is a juried show called Go Figure, is done on Saturday the 29th. So I have to be open because there's a lot of people that have been emailing me and calling me about how long the show's going to be open. I'm like, well, it's been open all month and I'm closed Wednesday and Thursday. Sorry. I have to cook.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we're jumping like in the middle. Let's go back
That's
to the
all right.
beginning. How'd you get started in this?
I'm an art major. My husband's an artist. My children are both artists and musicians, an opera singer and a farmer, and our whole family's crazy. But I've always had a passion for art. I grew up. I really do a journal, and I realized that when I was younger that I grew up going to Thanksgiving, Easter, and summers in St. Paul, Minnesota. And my cousins and my aunt and uncle lived on a lake, and we would do that. So I would wake up every morning on the big red pull-out couch in the basement to opera, La Boheme, Don Giovanni, whatever my Uncle Bede was playing. And my aunt was a ceramicist, and she was an artist, a painter, and she would take us everywhere.
Is the ceramicist the potter? Is that the same thing or is it totally different?
Same.
It is, okay. I mean,
One's a really cool word. The other one is a word that you use.
She's a potter. She taught us. She taught us photography. She taught us pottery and ceramics. We glazed. It was super fun. We
Cool.
fished. We went out at 5 a.m, caught like 66 crappies and had them for breakfast. It was just awful fish, but it was good. So, but I grew up with this whole cultural thing, and my husband grew up with, I'm looking over there because he's not over there, but his piece is over there. My husband grew up in an art family, so he was always an artist. He went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York, for his art degree, and then Madison, and then University of Iowa. And I knew him since I was 10. I know it was not arranged. He would like to say it was, but it wasn't. But our fathers were best friends, and so Bill's dad was one of the first hot air balloonists in the area, and he was a huge art collector. And he came from a long family of art collectors. I mean, Bill's family knew Grant Wood. I am actually related to Marvin Cohn through marriage. But so it's been a passion my entire life. So I originally went to school. Hope my dad doesn't see this, because my dad said, I should be a teacher, a dental hygienist. I'm like, okay. And my dad will never see this. I love you, Dad, just in case you see this. But it was not my passion. And so what happened was I went to school and I said, this sucks. I don't want to be a dental hygienist. It's a great profession. I probably kind of should have done it because I would have made a lot more money.
Yeah.
But I met my husband way back when. We traveled to Southeast Asia. I passed the test of being really super sick and traveling anyway. And we got engaged. And he was an artist. So we kind of went with it. And I actually was in sales for years, like print sales, like artistic. I majored in graphic design and marketing from Iowa. And I was an artist. I am an artist. What am I saying? I am an artist, but I don't show my work. I'm really nervous about it. I admire all the people who do that here.
If your background's like that, how could you ever think that your family wouldn't be crazy?
I said my families are crazy.
I know. I'm saying how they're bound to be.
I
With
know,
all that
it's great.
artistic background and everything, that's
Totally,
awesome.
I
Where'd this
know.
crazy thing come
Very
from?
cool. She said they're all
I said
kids are all crazy. And I was like,
my
well,
family's crazy. Oh my God. So anyway, my whole artistic bent and my artistic passion. Oops, sorry, I'm hitting the boom. Comes from a long line of artistic people and appreciators. And yes, I'm playing with my hair. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so it was in sales for years, and then I had my own business, and I freelanced, and I was in sales and marketing. I actually worked just for my best friend who owns Mortuary Lift Company down the hall. You saw that? Lifts for Stiffs. It's a great product. And I worked for her for 6.5 years, and then I said, I'm going to do my own thing. So I ended up working for Corner House Gallery and Frame, which is everybody in Cedar Rapids knows it as the Great House by Walgreens with a red ribbon around it.
Yep.
And then they closed, and I opened this. So I worked there for a couple years, and it was
so somebody
passion.
bought that. Not to go off on this. So somebody bought that land and just wanted the land because they tore the house down.
They
and it's
tore
just
the house
a
down. Super
blank
sad.
piece of shit, piece of property. What are they going to do with it?
This could be an office building.
I loved driving by there every winter and had that
I
big
know,
red boat.
with
It
the
was so
trees.
cool. It was like a part of Cedar Rapids. For me.
I know.
So I think Mike Rowe from CNN, Somebody's Got to Do It, just filmed an episode with the Stiffs
Yep,
thing, right?
I was there.
Really?
I said, hey, you want some vodka? And he came and said, yeah, Mike Rowe is a great guy. Mike Rowe is even better in person than he is on TV. He's the same guy. It's amazing.
I saw all the pictures of him at like Pardo City and Lions
he's
Bridge, and I was like,
super cool.
"Fuck! I wish I had known in advance. I
Super
could have
cool
totally
guy.
talked to him, take him out to dinner, and do a podcast with him. He'd be fantastic.
Super cool. He's funny. He's charming.
His TV show. I mean, I loved Dirty Jobs.
I know, but
my oldest grew up on it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's Got to Do It is awesome too.
It's a very cool show.
Oh my god!
I saw when he went to Vegas and they were doing like that water routine.
That was fucking.
That was crazy.
That was funny.
Yeah, and then
Oh
I
my
also
God.
saw where he went into this. It's like a museum of hair.
Yeah.
Now,
Like
anybody
ancient.
who goes around and talks to people that much on that many different things,
I know. I've seen those hair sculptures. Hair.
That's a little
it's like a
gross.
hair. It's a
It's a little
hair.
creepy and gross.
There's
family
a lot of
tree.
there's a lot of creepy and gross things around.
That's true.
Let's
To
Mr.
one
Stiffs.
person, creepy and gross. To another person, a piece of art.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, look at that for instance.
See, like now,
Those little
we-
heads right there. Are
I will
fucking
show
creepy,
you.
I love
right?
those heads.
They're awesome, but man, they're scary.
They're
Okay,
not scary.
those
They're
are
we'll
like,
show
awesome.
a picture of the heads, and we'll show a picture of the gas masks. The pictures of the gas mask.
now you have to realize this is a juried show.
That means
A juried show is something that I've started doing for many reasons. A juried show is something that I advertise nationally, and hopefully artists want to be in my show. What happens is if I'm an artist, I look at several websites to see where I want to promote my art. I either marketing-wise or branding-wise, I want it by location or by judge. So, and being in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, which is not the coolest location. It's becoming cool because of Nubo.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have to do is promote. I have to have a judge that's really, really awesome. The judge for this show, called Go Figure, it was Sean Ulmer. He's the director of the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art. I said, thank you, Sean, for letting me totally ride your shirt tails on this, because a lot of people just want, even if they don't make it in the show, they want a director of a museum to see their art. But we have artists, so I have a platform, an online platform where people, they pay a fee to submit. I've done this before too, to submit photos, three images to the show, and then a judge looks at it and decides if you're going to be in the show or not. So out of, I don't know, 50, 70, depends on the show, people, my judge picked 16 people. And they get to show here. And I have people from France and Hawaii and New York and Montana and Florida and Texas and lots from Iowa.
They ship it all to you?
They do. They ship it here. And then for this show, usually, a gallery has a cut, and it's pretty, most galleries are a lot more than me. But for this show, I just said, if something sells, I'll take 10%. And my last show that was a jury show was landscape show. I took 0. And my next show is going to be in March 2015. It's going to be Containers of the Self. And my judge is going to be Jane Gilmore, who has
Sounds familiar.
Jane Gilmore, she's a retired professor from Mount Mercy University.
That's where I went to college.
You know Jane. She's a cool
I know
chick.
who that is.
She has a studio on the 3rd floor of the building here, upstairs. And she's a really accomplished artist. She shows in New York. So she's my next artist, my next judge for my March 2015 show.
Now, I've copied artwork before.
Good for you.
Thank you. But my thing was more along the lines of the piece of art that I copied was steel, welded steel picture.
Yeah, that's all right.
Right?
Like wider steel and wider pictures. Kind of.
So my wife saw a piece down in New Orleans. I couldn't afford it, so I came back home
You
and
borrowed it.
I recreated, but I don't sell it.
No,
right?
see?
Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Right.
I mean, we build houses the same. We do lots of stuff that are the same.
How does a judge look at a piece, and what are they looking at to judge it? And then how does anybody come up? When I looked at that, I kind of borrowed the same medium, but I did different pictures later on.
Well, see, then it's original.
Right, but then I always had a very hard time with somebody saying, I love that piece. Could you do a piece like that for me? How much is it?
Oh, price is a huge issue. There's
how does an artist go with that?
I actually subscribe to this online newsletter called Hypoallergic. It's about the art scene, not only in the world, but also very much in New York and Brooklyn. And they talked about that, and I probably could quote Warren Buffett, but there's a space in there about pricing. And they said that, the price of art nowadays, and I'm paraphrasing, it's probably wrong, is really a popular vote. It does not determine the price of art. It does not reflect how the economy is doing. It's a popular vote, which is really interesting. And I have all sorts of artists come to me. Number one, they ask me, how do I show in your gallery? And they also ask me, how do I price my art? When I show an artist, they have to be extremely well crafted. I can't take paint by numbers because that's not what I am. It's all original art. I do not take artists that make reproductions, which is different than prints, and that's people call it, hey, do you sell prints? I'm like, well, yeah, I sell prints of my photographer, but it's a limited series. I don't sell reproductions. That's totally different. But, the pricing, I have several artists from, well, not in this show, but my regular stables. I should probably tell you my business plan. My business model for me is my gallery, but I have only 7 artists in my stable that I represent inside and outside Cedar Rapids. They're always in my gallery. So, one's from Key West and one's in Chicago, and the rest are from here. One's in St. Louis, And I tell them, don't price your work for Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That is compromising your brand. If nobody wants to buy it, it's not the right market. And, it's an education. It's an education. So, pricing is a different thing. It depends on your shows, your collections, and how many juried shows you've been in. It depends on a lot of things. Where you went to school actually depends on a lot. But I do have a couple artists that never went to school and were formally trained, but they are some of the most talented artists that I've seen comparatively.
So truly talent, just pure talent.
Pure talent. Yeah.
Wow. Do you like art to the point where you have like those visceral reactions when you see certain things?
Completely. All right. So everybody knows Starry Night by Van Gogh.
Right.
Yes.
I went with my husband, I don't remember who else was there. It was a Van Gogh Gauguin show in Chicago at the Art Institute. And it was absolutely fabulous. And I'm like, okay, how many times have you seen Starry Night on the side of your mug and your coffee mug? Right?
Sure.
Okay. And then everybody else was, if you want to hear the history, but of course I'm an art major, so I'm kind of like a little snob about that.
You're a geek about
and
it.
I do. I'm a dork. I'm an art dork. And so I don't do the art historical, because I read about it before I go, and there's a reason why I go. Anyway, so everyone's there, and they all have their ear headphones on like you. And all you hear is like a little whispering. You've been there.
Sure.
And of course I did not have mine on because I know so much about art. And I got to Starry Night and I looked at it and I absolutely broke down in tears. It surprised me. I did not expect it. I've seen it a million bazillion times and studied it all through school. But there is just art that still moves me. And that's super cool.
Is it big?
It's not that big.
It's
It's
not
like
that
the
big.
Mona Lisa. It's like super small.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
I
Because some are big, some are tiny. So I mean, that's why I was curious about it. So
And that's the whole point of art. Is like if you have a visceral, I don't do the hard sale when I sell things. I'm like, if you like it, buy it. If you visit it, buy it. I'm not going to hard sell you. You got to buy
I saw the
what you
nipples
like.
over there. I might get that one.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's
The
from
what?
France.
The nipples? Did you say?
There's a
Why
couple
does all the nipples have to come from France?
Because they have no issue.
I was going to say they're not closeted.
There's a couple of them.
Oh, I like them. They're pretty.
Yeah, one's a little bit androgynous.
I was
the other one's not.
checking
I like
out your
that
website.
mask there too.
Yep.
Is that a mask? That's a great one too.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's very CISO. He's also showing the rest of his work over at CSPS, which is across the street, which I partner with on our openings the first Thursdays of every month.
I can't get Mel or John to call me back. I've been trying since we started our podcast.
Mel's in my gallery. This is
Where's
Mel's
Mel
piece
at?
right
Oh,
there.
where?
Oh,
He did a performance
there.
art piece, and his studio is upstairs on the 3rd floor near my husband's.
I need to talk to him.
Maybe I could-
Yeah,
Maybe.
that'd be great.
He's a great guy. Both Mel and John are absolutely brilliant people.
They're good guys, and I mean, a friend of
They're-
ours,
they're
Shannon
brilliant.
Ramsey, who owns Trees Forever, and
Oh, I know. I just saw her last week.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
so she knows Mel and John well too, and she's like, "You just call them." And I was like, "I've been calling, I've been stopping in." I
They're out of
promise.
town. They're actually
Well,
they're,
John and Mel are always gone. It seems like
They're out of town a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the most amazing music venue. It's the best kept secret in Cedar Rapids and Iowa City and anywhere in Iowa because they get John is part of this group, and I can't remember the name now. They're based in New Orleans, but it's the National Artist. Anyway,
they play up in CSPS. You mean up there? That venue is that you're talking about?
the venues that they get, he's part of a group that travels all over the United States and sometimes abroad, and they find these groups and they book them in their group. So they know if they come to the United States, they have so many gigs.
Oh,
And so they go across from East Coast to West Coast or West Coast to East Coast, and they know they have so many gigs. And John's extremely well versed in. I mean, one night you'll have like a French cellist, and the next night you'll have a whole group from Zimbabwe, and the
Right.
next night it'll be from Argentina.
or then you'll have some speaker, some
And then
amazing
they'll have
speaker.
some speaker, and
yeah,
it's wonderful. And then
I saw my first thing was there was
sorry.
a guy called he was called the One Man Band, I think his name was.
Yeah, he was great.
And that was before the floods. That was a while ago. And I watched that and I thought, that is the coolest thing ever.
And then Mel kind of does the galleries, and there are 3 galleries at CSPS. There's a national gallery, a regional gallery, and then a local gallery. So
I took my kids to see the spaceship one this last summer.
Yeah, I know, that was good.
That was interesting.
I met that artist. He was regional, local, whatever. Okay. He was
now,
from Iowa City.
This is a terrible stereotype. I have a good friend of mine who's an artist who lives in California. He's very quirky. Very quirky.
You're such a
dude.
stereotypist.
Yeah, I'm a stereotypist. He's a very quirky guy, but his brain functions a little bit differently, which I think is why what makes him a good artist. And so, do you find? I mean, that whole left brain, right brain kind of thing. I mean, it just fits kind of.
All my artists are crazy.
Okay.
All of my artists are crazy.
The comedians that we have, the guy Jeff who runs Penguins is like, comedians are just fucking bonkers.
They're have to be. They think outside the box, and I think that they have it's a very fine line between reality and not. I love that. I mean, look at this stuff. Who the hell thinks of this?
Well, it's like not Steven Spielberg, but the author that writes crazy, Stephen King, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Stephen King writes a book, fantastic book, everybody loves it, but it's dark and creepy and everything else.
Or you could go to the other end, Stephen Hawking.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff.
Right.
Brains.
Yeah, but it's still, it's kind of the father of quantum physics. I mean,
I know,
God
but
almighty.
why is that different than art?
Right, absolutely. You have to think outside the box. Have you seen Interstellar yet?
No.
It is so
And I'm a total sci-fi girl,
good.
so oh my God. No,
the best part is I'm a sci-fi guy too, but it's beyond sci-fi. It's so
That's
great.
cool. No, I have not seen it.
Really,
I watched
really
it.
good.
It's 3 hours long, and I watched it the first time with my 2 little kids, 8 and 10. And they're spinning in their chairs by the second hour because they couldn't stand any longer. And then I went and saw it that night with him because I just could not get enough of it.
And there's a whole father-daughter tie in the movie, and that always kills me.
Yeah. Were you crying?
No.
Oh.
But
just checking.
it's not like Time Traveler's Wife.
Yes, he did cry at that one.
Now, some people think that movie is
so I'm
horrible,
sorry.
but I love
I'm
it.
sorry,
horrible
but
movie.
you know what? Who would you be if you couldn't cry? That's what I always say. I mean, I blush all the time. You saw me blushing earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd
Just
be
I don't even know what you're
Hitler.
saying.
You'd be a dick with a white hat on, maybe.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't cry, but
I
laughs
cry
at
all
other
the
people who
time.
do
White
cry.
pointed hat.
I cry at you because you cry at that movie in particular.
All
Not
right.
because you cry, period.
I
You're
cry
crying
every
at the
day.
Time
I'm trying to
Traveler's
think
Wife.
of. There's certain movies that no matter what happens, how many times, doesn't matter how many times I've seen the movie.
Life is a House with Kevin Kline. Life is a House. Have you seen that?
No.
Should
What about
see it.
AI? AI?
Oh, I cried at that. That was
Oh my
sad.
God. That was horrible.
Yeah.
And What Dreams May Come, and
Yes.
Brian's Song, and
Oh, yeah.
I know.
That's a sad one.
Going way.
I don't
That's
do
way
Brian's
back.
song.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
would
do
cry.
it.
You probably don't even know what
That's
it is.
okay.
I saw the old version and I saw the new version.
There's a new version?
Well, there's like an updated version of it, right?
Is
A
it
remake?
There's like an old version, like
Yeah,
the original
with
version.
James Caan.
James
and
Caan.
Yeah, and then there's a new one.
No, you have to see the old one. Oh my God. That was the one that I cried at all the time.
It didn't
I
have
cry.
a father-daughter thing going on, so I didn't.
That's
It didn't
true,
bother
that's
me.
true.
Well, Life is a House is Kevin Keaton. He's dying of cancer, and he tries to hook up with his son and kind of rekindle a relationship before he dies.
Yeah.
And it's the guy who played Darth Vader in all the prequels. What's that kid's name?
Darth?
Christian. No.
Christian
Yeah.
Slater?
No.
No, Christian.
Hyde.
Hayden.
Christian, something like that.
Hayden.
Hayden.
Christian Hayden.
Yeah,
Wow.
he plays his
Good
son.
job.
He
Don't
got
remember
a
names.
huge because that was before the Star Wars movies, so they saw his
Wow.
acting chops before he got asked to be the
It's
Star
too
Wars
bad
stuff.
that he got sucked into those Star Wars movies.
I thought he did okay.
He wasn't that good in the first place.
This movie you'll like Life is a House, I think.
But Life is a
But
House is probably better.
I was watching it, and the bad parts is I was holding it all in, and then I let out a little squeak at one point, and my wife looked over at me, and she's already crying.
Of course.
I just had a feeling that it was like welling, and I don't know if I could stop. And so we left the theater, and I'm in the car, and she goes, "Oh, I really have to go to the bathroom. I'm running back inside." I'm like, "Okay." She runs inside, the door closes, boom. Just sobbing by myself in the car.
Really?
It was crazy.
See,
The
but
first
you
one was
that
E.T.
means-
E.T. was the
now-
first one. when I looked over at my dad, I go, Dad, he's not really dead. Is he dead? He's not dead.
Okay, that's
Is he
it,
dead?
E.T.
And I'm just sobbing.
No,
and
What I
crying.
can
E.T.
see,
was bad.
I can see
E.T.
your
was
son,
bad.
the smallest one, as you doing that.
E.T. No,
You're
E.T.
just
was
like
so
your younger
sad.
son.
Totally. He's like me.
E.T. I cried at E.T. that scene. Oh my god!
Oh,
It's
when
still,
the flower
I even
died.
know-
When the flower
I
died.
know.
Footloose
Come-
when he doesn't, and he's got the boot and it's stuck, the shoe lace with the on the. No, I'm just fucking with everybody.
I was gonna say it did not make me cry.
What did I watch today? Oh, I'm really sucked into Suits. You ever seen that TV show Suits?
No.
Are you addicted to? Do you watch any TV?
You know-
or are you just so artsy?
I am so artsy. I have no time for anything
A lot of people say that.
except for music. Except for music. We go to Lollapalooza every year. It's been 10 years.
Whoa. Did you see
Yeah.
Paul McCartney a couple years ago?
No, he was not at Lolla. He was at
Okay.
Bonnaroo.
Oh, okay. Is that a friend who
Which
went to
piece
sell
is
that?
your
Right.
husband's piece? Here.
Actually, it's very unusual. It's a little tiny piece there. That's me, Earth Goddess. It
In the box.
In the box.
So
That's
he does
unusual.
woodworking too.
Oh no, we just did a box.
Well, that's wood. It's wood.
Yeah,
It's
it's
woodworking.
a box.
He made a box, though.
It's a drawer that he turned into a box. It's
Oh.
Cornelian.
Oh, I see. It's a drawer. Oh, neat.
And inside is a naked woman figure that has no leg because our dog, Ricky Bobby. Oh, excuse me. And I just, excuse
Ricky
me.
Bobby.
Ricky-
It was a, those black and white dogs, the,
Dalmatians.
Dalmatian?
Well, those are black
not,
and white.
did I
ain't
say
they?
spotted? Black and white, spotted? No.
No,
Okay.
black and white. Tiger
Border
stripes?
collie,
Okay.
border collie. And it was a rescue dog, and he started biting people. We had to get rid of him. But anyway, Ricky would in my kitchen, I would turn my back, and all of a sudden he'd be stealthily on the counter. It was creepy. Anyway, Ricky Bobby chewed the Nutcracker. The Nutcracker was my husband's grandfather, and it cracked the nuts between her legs. And
That's
the dog-
awesome.
The dog chewed off one leg, and Bill said, "God damn it, I'm going to make art out of it."
Nice.
So he made Earth Goddess. I said, nutcracking, no leg? What are you talking about? It's me. That's me. It's not for sale.
But you have 2 legs.
I might crack nuts.
Oh.
Oh.
Shit. I believe that.
So you weren't catching on to that?
I know. I had to
Earth Goddess,
explain
Of
it.
course I caught
Nutcracker.
on to that. Just being goofy.
No, you didn't.
I totally did.
You didn't catch on to that, and you didn't catch on to the fact that you didn't bring a black hat tonight.
The what? Black cat?
A black hat.
Black hat?
Hat.
Yeah, I usually wear a black hat. But
No,
tonight
no.
I'm wearing my sauce hockey hat. So
Sauce hockey.
What?
Go to-
Why do you wear a black hat always?
It's just the one that's in the studio.
Yeah. See, Todd.
That's my lucky
cannot
black
be-
hat.
Todd's never been seen. Nobody knows what Todd looks like. So we're
There's
kind
no
of
camera on Todd.
In the back of my head.
Oh.
Ah.
Steve Shriver.
You should
had
have loved
a-
Steve because I had a meeting with him.
Steve
And
who?
I was talking to him about marketing and doing some sponsorship.
Steve
and,
Shriver.
Yes. And I was upstairs.
He's
I was
great. He's
with him.
wonderful.
And he goes, well, you really should get some photos done at Primal Scream, these things. And I was like, well, yeah, since you can't really see me, it's kind of going to be kind of hard. And we've tried that a couple ways. He's like, what do you mean? And I go, yeah, you didn't see me. Didn't you watch your own podcast? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, you never saw my face. He goes, yeah. He goes, you're Todd. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Todd. And he goes, what the fuck?
And then it
He
clicked.
just clicked. He had no idea that during the podcast you just couldn't see me, or any podcast you don't
Well,
ever see me.
I think I really like this, and you should rock that on the podcast.
He
Yeah.
should if he could,
If I
but
could,
he
I
can't.
would.
So
Just
he
you
won't.
can't go like this.
We've done different things, like I've pixelated his face like a witness protection.
Yeah.
It just took so much time.
Yeah, it just took so
It's
much
not
time.
worth it.
Maybe if we get some supercomputers.
Supercomputers. Yeah, so you don't see me.
That's cool.
Yeah, I have a job that won't let me do this.
He's got a job
Secret
that
Service.
doesn't allow opinions.
It's true.
You know what's crazy is art is one of those facets of humanity that allows you to release a type of an opinion
Yeah.
in a visual form.
Interpretation.
And it's so accepted.
Thank God.
You know what? I walk in and I see a bunch of guys in gas masks, and I think, I like that. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
That might be so.
Fine. But
All of
anyway,
See, his birthday's coming up, and so I was like, "Oh, I wonder if I can get one for him." And then I was like,
well, the very cherry
all
Christmas
13
is coming up.
pieces are part of one. One thing.
Every piece is one set, right?
Yeah, it's all one set. It's super trippy. I love it.
But see, that's
Fucking
like
crazy
the great
bizarre.
lie that we all accept is we don't truly have freedom of speech. Like Todd, he can't just be himself.
Because we
and come
started
right out
this
and
so
say
we
it.
could have more an outlet.
Well,
Open-
okay, so do you think that would only be here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or do you think it'd be elsewhere?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
It's not hard to say at all. Because having a show of figures and there are nudes,
Sure.
nobody's doing that.
Really?
That's the whole. Where do you go see nudes?
I don't know.
Campbell Steele Gallery has Priscilla Steele is a fabulous artist, and she does nudes, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They're, I mean, if you
Paintings
saw,
or photography?
sweat.
Sweat?
So what? What?
Paintings or photography?
It is a drawing, charcoal
Okay.
drawing.
Oh, cool.
She's wonderful. Campbell Steele Gallery that just recently kind of closed their gallery side, but they do a lot of like music venues. But
They do weddings and receptions.
The
there,
last
all kinds of stuff
charcoal
there.
Really
nude
nice.
drawing I saw was Titanic.
you need to get out more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
look at
I
this.
think that some people
I've got
get
1,
uptight.
2, 3, 4, 5.
The last nude
Nudes.
photography I saw was Bob Schaefer out of Mount Vernon did a series of a friend of mine, and I saw that, and I saw those pictures. Shannon actually has them on their wall because her daughter's the
Nice.
main person.
You know, so the nude is classic. I mean, look, the Venus de Milo. You know, all the Roman sculptures and busts and the statue of David. It's all nude.
So why have we taken something that for centuries has just been accepted and looked at and as something that's just truly beautiful?
Because of religion. Because of religion constraints. Because if it was artistic restraint, if it was artistic oriented, the body and okay, there's what? Figurative, landscape, abstract, and still life.
That's
it. What else do you see?
okay.
What else is there? I mean, it may be.
Just too. I mean, because it
It's
is
too
art.
personal.
It is art restraint. I mean, it's
I
restraining.
mean, landscapes and still lifes super safe. Abstract
Yeah.
takes a little bit of a leap because you have to like the whole point of it not totally describing everything.
Right. Here's a silver platter, and this is
Yeah.
exactly what it's supposed to tell you.
This is a flower, and this is it. So abstract is there. But nudes are challenging because of our religious constraints upon ourselves. But you know, it's actually beautiful. I don't know.
I saw an artist, and he was a very, very different guy. He was at the Guggenheim in New York when I was
What's
there.
his name?
I can't remember, but his wife is a double amputee,
See?
and she's a
It's
model.
alarming.
She's a model,
I
and,
know
and
who
she's
this is.
gorgeous woman. And he has her in these different things, but the Guggenheim, how it spirals up, right?
Right.
So the whole museum was his, right? And it was kind of, and my brother, I think my brother told me, no, he uses that lady, that model,
So
in
is
his
it
artwork,
wife?
but his wife is Bjork.
Oh.
I can't remember his name.
Well, it's for impact. I mean, the thing is it makes you rethink. It makes you rethink the figure.
Well, what it was for me, it wasn't just this lady that was beautiful. It was more of like you would walk up and there would be a pile of potatoes. Some were peeled and some weren't, and they're coming out of a piano. And one of the legs is like stainless steel, but it's blending into the wood of the piano.
Oh,
so I was
weird.
looking at it, and I couldn't really figure out what he was trying to get at, but I thought the construction of what he did was absolutely amazing. I mean, just astounding. Then there was one room where you looked in this window. It was this big, huge room. It was all white, had a humongous, like, king-size wooden, like, King James bed, you know, a big, huge post on it and stuff. And the room was full of, like, pigeons. And it was sealed off. The room was sealed off, and the pigeons had shit
Everywhere. I was going to say they're shitting everywhere.
everywhere. And so I'm looking in there going, okay, this is different. What the fuck? You know,
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it just kind of like altered your thinking. You're just like going, oh, what's he? So maybe I'm being too thinking about him. What's he trying to get across? What's he trying to do? I just like
no. The whole thing about art is it's supposed to make you think outside your box. You're supposed to look at it and say, "Wow, that's a totally different dimension that I never dream about or think about or any part of my life."
Yeah,
and I love that.
It was pretty amazing,
It's freeing.
and that he took up the whole entire Guggenheim.
Of course he
I was
did.
just like, holy shit, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's creativity to the nth degree. I was just like, I just couldn't wrap my head around a lot of it.
You know what? When I think of art, I also think about if you put your time into art, if you go and you look at art, it's kind of like I do woodworking also. So when I am trying to do a project, I'm creating something, I'm looking at other skilled
Techniques,
woodworkers and
right?
I'm appreciating the skills that go into that. So when I see a piece of furniture or something, my wife might say, "Oh, that's a good deal. We should get it." I'm pulling on the drawers. I'm looking at the hardware. I'm looking at the joints and everything like that.
You're discriminating, and there's nothing wrong.
Right. Well, I'm breaking the item down. You know. So for art enthusiasts or people that allow themselves to see art, I'm sure it gets to them the same way it gets to me when I look at a beautiful piece of woodworking or
art. Yeah, one of my artists that I use in my corporate and business and personal art consulting is John Schwarzkopf downstairs, and he makes the most. I don't know if you've seen his work.
Mm-mm.
Oh my god! Okay, he's really, 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 really good. He did like 23 benches for the new. What's the big building? The
library,
Justice Building.
Oh,
right over
the courthouse.
Here. The courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Courthouse.
Obviously, you don't spend a lot of time at the courthouse,
which is a good thing.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. I know. I was gonna say not yet. The other night I could have. You might have to visit my friend who works there. Okay, whatever. I don't want to do
So
that.
he made benches out of what?
He
Like
makes-
what medium?
wood.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely beautiful.
And he's downstairs.
He's downstairs. Huge. You would be so jealous of his workshop.
Oh,
It's
I can only
awesome.
imagine.
He has the super sucking vacuum for all the sawdust.
all the dust collection system.
Oh my God. And he's really, really good. We have a piece of his in our house, in our condo over here in Water Tower Place, which is a corporate condo for our business. Actually, not my husband's family business, Stamats Communications. And he does a lot of work around town.
That's awesome.
I know. The benches you see at the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art, really super long benches that are one piece of wood, he made those.
Oh, cool.
If you've been there.
Yeah, I've been there lots of
Challenge.
times.
There's a
Once?
challenge. Check it
Oh,
out.
I'm there lots of times. I've been there
Oh my
tons of times.
God.
I
I've
love
never
that
been
place. It's amazing. The green roof
You
is
have not
fabulous.
seen the Kaneko heads in front of it? The red and the yellow? Kaneko is a really good ceramicist from Korea.
No,
and he
I don't
We
lives
saw
in
his
Seoul.
we saw his vases in Chicago. His vases were
Yes.
outside
Oh my
for a
God.
while. They were awesome.
And this year at Lollapalooza, he had Kaneko huge heads right by the bean.
And he was on CBS Sunday
See,
morning.
I want to
showing
know how they
them.
made the bean. The bean
You know
in
what?
Chicago.
How they made it. See, that's a
Oh.
woodworker thing. How did they make it so shiny?
Well, and no
Squirrel.
seams. And no
Squirrel.
what?
There's no seams.
Yeah. When you walk around it, you don't see any seams. You don't see.
No, you don't see seams. Well,
you don't
that's
see
polishing.
how it was created. It's
Oh,
just
it's
like
all
this.
it's all polished.
So I did some metal artwork this
I love
summer.
it.
I found a guy who was doing like a laser cutouts of metal, pieces of metal.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
said, hey, if I came and just like sorted through your dump pile,
Your scraps, yeah.
can I see about making? I was using it for some artwork. He said, sure, come look and all you want. So I made some pieces that I thought I liked, and I welded them together. We had some neighborhood some neighborhood people that really liked them a lot.
No, that's super
But then
cool.
I was just like, I had a good time doing it, and I thought it was neat. But then there's a part of me just like, yeah, you're just fucking fiddling around with pieces of metal.
No. Don't ever think that. Absolutely. Okay, so art, whatever enriches our lives, may it be cooking, I'm a huge chef, foodie, or gardening, or like 3D or 2D art, or even how you dress. Everything is an art piece, whether you want to believe it or not. Think about it. It's all an image. It's all a expression of your soul. It's an expression. Art is just an expression. And if you can like put that on somewhere, I mean, we look at conventional expressions of art, like a gallery. Mm-hmm. But you know, the whole thing is like your beard. Ooh.
That's okay.
Your very long beard that's super
your ZZ
gray.
Top, your ZZ Top looking beard.
It is kind of gray.
With braids, like whatever.
Braids.
I know, whatever. I'm not trying to disclose your personality or your image or whatever. We don't know who you are.
Don't tarnish my image.
We don't know who you are.
So important.
Vaclav.
Don't tarnish my image.
Yeah.
You're
My
so
kids are like, I was like, I don't have any gray. And both my boys go, have you looked in the mirror? And I was like, what? They're like, look at your beard.
I totally color my hair.
And I was like, oh, wow, I have a lot of gray.
I just threw away a box. I had gotten this Just for Men.
Oh
thing.
yeah, that works. It does.
I'm never gonna.
I was gonna grow out my
you should
goatee.
Actually completely shave it.
My head?
Yeah.
I generally do. I usually just I'll shave it.
He's just a little bit overgrown tonight.
I'm a little overgrown. I got a little 5 o'clock shadow going on.
That's okay.
I do it like every 4 days or so, right?
Oh, you're lucky. My husband does it every morning.
Every morning.
Whoa.
Yep. Oh, see, I would worry about razor burn.
That's something. I used to cut my hair like that too because of just the maintenance.
It's a lot of maintenance. You know, it's
but every day that's
it's
bonkers.
A lot of it really is. I mean, I see him. It's like,
And that's why you got to go to dollarshaveclub.com because those razors are cheap. They're super cheap. And then they just send them to you. Yeah, they're good. I did it. So I get a packet. I had to stop my order because I'm so used to buying the expensive razors
that last
and last. And I just keep using them until they're like, ow.
You shouldn't do that.
Another blade. But these were coming so frequently. I had a pile of them that I haven't even gotten to yet. I'm like, cancel that order.
Give them to your wife for her legs.
Oh, always thinking. Good job.
My daughter asked the other day, Mom, can you show me how to shave my legs?
Does she need to shave her legs?
She's 10.
Does she need to shave her legs?
It's getting to that.
You know what? When she's
fucking
fucking 10, she needs to shave her fucking legs because everyone at school is.
Okay, so
it doesn't matter if she doesn't have, even if her hair is like little tiny, like.
Even if it's in the middle of winter and they're wearing nothing but jeans.
She is hitting puberty. So that I'm not surprised.
You know, okay,
but
girls,
still, it's more of a social thing.
Girls hit puberty when they hit 100 pounds. Doesn't matter what grade they are.
Really? That's a fact?
I have a 23 and a 19-year-old.
Bam. 100 pounds.
100 pounds.
So
they could be tall.
So if I reduce her calorie intake, she can remain my baby forever.
I know. As soon as you get boobs, you're done.
Yeah.
Oh, you have breasts?
We talked about this the other night, me and my daughter. No, not you and me. But we, as in my daughter and I.
I'm not your daughter either.
She asked me to lay down with her. I tucked her into bed.
I love
laid down.
Oh, I love
and,
that. That's so special.
It is. But I have to set my timer on my phone for 5 minutes. Or else
because she falls asleep or you fall asleep.
Or I will, I will
2 in the morning, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I put my kids down at like 8. Right? Try to get them to bed at 8,
so
lay down with them. But if I don't set my timer, I wake up at 9:30.
I know, and you're like,
so my bedtime becomes
crashed
8. And then I can't do anything for the rest of the night. 5 minutes. I'll lay down with you for 5 minutes. So that's a big treat. And so my daughter's talking to me about this little talk that her and my wife had. And I go, do you feel comfortable talking to me about that?
Always keep her secrets.
And I said, and she said, yeah, Dad, I feel okay. I go, so just so you know, when you don't, that's okay. It's not going to bother me that you don't feel comfortable talking to me about this stuff. But if you do need to talk to me about that stuff, I'm okay with it also.
Okay, so my son is like mine and my daughter is my husband's.
Sure.
Except for those kind of things. Oops, I just totally touched the boob. Okay.
You're good.
No, but you know, the thing is that children are so malleable. You have to give them freedom, but give them rules. But don't chastise them for whatever they do or they think.
Structure is a big thing.
Just make them be good people.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
God knows.
for sure.
My children, just like their parents, are fuck ups. We fuck up. But you know what? Everybody does.
Exactly.
As soon as
That's a
somebody
big thing in our society. We have to be perfect. So when that space is open next door, I kept telling him how awesome it'd be if we had like a bar area. But I wonder if they would they ever hire
right here. Who?
Would they ever hire not hire? Sorry. Would they ever with the lady and the man who own Cherry Building? Would they
the lady and the gentleman,
the lady and the gentleman,
and her gentleman caller? Have they ever thought about having a bar in here?
No, it's a retail space. They don't have the. Although I serve liquor,
like the plumbing. You mean?
No, they have plumbing. No, it's just it would.
The plumbing for a bar. I mean, that's a lot of.
They used to have a coffee shop downstairs. Before the flood.
Okay. Because when they had that space over there, I thought, how could we offset the costs? What if we had like a whiskey bar or a whiskey bar that had like just local beers and something very simple, low overhead?
That's already done.
Where's that at? Bohemia?
Bohemia and Lions Bridge, and then there's something going down in the Sokol building for a possibly
the what
barcade.
Building? What building?
Speakeasy.
Where at?
Downtown somewhere. I can't tell.
Oh. Well, Cobble Hill.
We had a guy come in.
Cobble Hill what?
I haven't been to Cobble Hill yet. Is that fabulous?
It is.
You've been there?
Really nice.
No. Where's Cobble Hill at?
It's down on 3rd?
3rd Street.
Second or 3rd?
Okay,
anyway,
I
Fabuloso. They're closed this week, though. We tried to go there last Saturday.
We'll be doing a podcast probably from their restaurant.
They are super cool people. Cobble Hill is named after a neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Right. Which is what they designed the bistro after, is like these small Brooklyn little places.
Super cool.
Very cool.
Fabulous.
But yes, the barcade, the Quarter Barrel is going up.
Quarter Barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris is on our podcast. I'm very excited.
You should just have like a kegger here. No,
I'm thinking we should just have a studio in this
building. We can't afford a studio.
But we can't afford a studio.
Right across the way, there's a studio. There's a music studio. A recording studio.
And we know Doug. We know Doug as well.
No, not Doug. I'm talking about
the one next to him.
I don't remember names. Gerard.
Okay.
Gerard's very, very talented.
Yeah,
I kind of call him a super secret something, whatever.
It's pretty cool.
Maybe I should have more vodka.
We're going to be having probably either our 2nd year anniversary or our 100th episode party at Quarter Barrel. And it'll be latter part of the summer. But yes, everybody who's been on our podcast will be invited.
So. Oh, yeah, I get to go.
Yeah.
Yep, and bring your husband.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course I will.
And your son can come if he brings fresh fruit and vegetables.
Oh, my God, I know. He's super cool. He plays music.
Oh.
Does he really?
Yeah, and he's one of those that goes, I play too many notes for whatever this is.
Oh, he's fancy pants,
really
huh?
Good. Yeah, he's fancy
That's
pants.
awesome.
He's
so
self-taught.
Tell us about your business plan.
All right.
Yeah.
My business model for my Black Earth Gallery. Well, I am an art consultant, which means I find art for corporate, business, and personal homes and businesses. And I do not just stay to my gallery. And that's kind of a new business model, because when I worked at Corner House, when we did like the Hall Prine or Mercy Hospital, we only placed mostly 99.9% of the stuff out of our gallery.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that. Look, where am I going to put this stuff?
Right. Was that because it was?
That's.
It's a good sales model. I mean,
it's an old business model.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the internet has flattened the art market.
Oh.
Because you can go
like everything else, huh?
Yeah, Walmart, Target. You can get all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Look at me.
But like one of the articles, one of the articles that was written about you that you have on your website, you can go you can walk into somebody's home and go, hey, that's a really nice piece from Gordman's. Or you can have a different piece.
Well, it just depends on your taste. It seriously does. Yeah. And I don't like condemn people. If they have a taste, they have a taste. Who am I to judge?
Sure.
Because I drive a Ford pickup 150 pickup truck.
If you buy your artwork from Walmart, you're a douchebag.
No, you just
Why
maybe
is
no,
that?
no,
Your
no,
poor
no,
white,
wait,
your double
no, wait,
wide
no,
needs to
wait.
be painting.
Why is that any different? To me,
Because it was made in China.
That's called
and it's
no,
cheap.
it's
No.
merchandising. I mean, I have some artists that want to merchandise their stuff, and that's not a bad thing. However, if you're buying from Walmart or Target, that means you're going to change your stuff within 3 years. It's a totally different.
Huh.
But I mean, look at Target. This year we have this designer doing
But
this
it's gotta-
stuff,
it's gotta
and so
stay-
you buy everything. You buy the plates, you buy the napkins, you buy the silverware, you buy the placemats, you buy the cups. You do everything. So now, if you buy that, it's a totally disposable merchandise type of product. If you're an art collector, it's totally different. And it's just like how you have your food. Some people eat at fast food restaurants. Some people eat at Cobble Hill. Right?
yeah,
Fast food.
I'm kind of fast food.
Well,
No, I love French
My-
fries.
my
McDonald's
wife-
French fries. Oh my God, do not like stop. And I eat Cheetos every day. The little tiny bags. So, but I'm just
we
saying.
would get along just fine.
My wife
know,
my wife has really good, I think, taste in art because we didn't fill our house with just stuff. We she bought a painting, I think it was from
Corner
House.
Cool. Awesome.
It was for our 5-year anniversary, I think. It's a guitar player. It's really neat, really beautiful. And then we found a Buddha. Some guy had taken an old wood shingle and carved a Buddha face, like a relief out of it. So like little things that we think kind of fit.
That is, oops.
You know what I mean?
Just spilled my vodka.
We don't want to fill our house with just stuff. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, you have to fill your life that surrounds you with stuff you appreciate and like. And if that's from Target or Walmart, you're going to probably change it in 3 years. That's fine. The thing is that there's a certain segment that likes really good food, or they like cars, or they like motorcycles. You have your thing. You have to embrace that. And that's a really good thing, because if we didn't have all that, people wouldn't have passion. You have to have passion.
That's a good point.
And I'm serious. That's why I'm probably not Eric Amundsen. One of my artists says, "You're not mean enough to be an art gallery owner." I said, but it's all about the artist. It's all about the artist. It's all about what you like. I will not sell you something that you don't want.
So it's kind of like helping somebody find their soulmate. It's like,
Yes.
I'm going to find that piece
Yeah,
of work
you
that
have
fits
to.
you. So if somebody doesn't like it, it's because you haven't found the person who likes it yet.
Exactly.
Okay, because I love Iowa Artisan Gallery in Iowa City.
I love it too.
It's one of my favorite
Oh my
places.
God. The last piece
Love
of art
it.
I bought, well, other than my own gallery, the last piece of art I bought was Artisan Gallery and Campbell Steel.
Okay.
Big piece of
I
art.
haven't been to Campbell Steel for a while.
Actually, no, I lied. The last piece of art we bought was from Diego Lazansky. And you know Mauricio Lazansky?
No.
All right. Mauricio Lazansky is deceased, but he was the premier etching printmaker at Iowa. He set up the whole art printmaking area at Iowa.
Wow.
He did something really impressive called the Nazi drawings, which are really impactful, and they will make you cry. I cried at them when I saw them. They're down. I believe they're down in Iowa City, although they don't have a museum right now. They were at the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art for a while. I don't know. You have to buy what you like. And the whole reason why I have these juried shows is because you don't know what you like if you're looking at the same stuff every time. How are you a good artist if you're not comparing yourself to people nationally?
Well, I like that you have different mediums. It's not just
Totally.
paintings. It's not
My
just
next one's
painting.
gonna
It's
be-
not just this. It's not just
No,
that.
my next
It's
one's
multi.
going to be totally trippy. It's going to be 3D and 2D. It's going to be really weird.
Well, you have
3D.
the masks. That's 3D artwork.
You mean
What
the
do you
little
mean by
heads?
3D
The little
and 2D?
heads, yeah.
Like 3D, like it's going to be almost installation type. It's going to be interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. And the thing is that, all right, so part of my business model, I'm an art consultant, and I don't stick to my gallery to satisfy my clients because I can't possibly, with this small of a space and with my business model, give people what they want. Because, I did the PCI building.
I was just going to ask you if you did the PCI building.
Yeah, I did. I found, except for the Susan Chrysler White things that are hanging down, but she was one of my top people I was going to ask, but she had already contacted them. But all the public area,
cool.
I did. I've helped them find the art. And, they said, we want nature art. We want healing art. And that's exactly what they should have. I'm also doing the PCI urology department. And they have both original and reproductions, which is perfectly where they want the reproductions is where they should, like cafeterias or waiting rooms.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you can have stuff like
Tom
that.
Hall, I thought Tom had a piece at the PCI building, but he's done a lot. He does a lot of like,
just
what's
kidding.
Tom's,
Tom's
Tom's medium is more of like, he designs furniture, incredible furniture.
You're talking about
Tom, Shannon's fella.
Her bow,
yeah. Yeah, and I thought that he said he had a piece there or not, but if you found it all, then you probably
I didn't place Tom Hall because I don't remember that.
Okay.
But the whole thing is that, okay, so you have, I set up the rotating gallery there and everything like that. But where was I?
You had done PCI. You were talking about the different places that you've placed art.
Oh, corporate stuff in business. You have to give them what they like. And there's no way that any one gallery, I don't believe, can give them everything they like. What happens is they start telling them what they want to buy. And they don't pay enough attention to say, yes, that's what I want. But also part of my business model is I only have like 7 artists in my art repping. I'm an art rep, and I promote them inside and outside of Cedar Rapids. But those are the ones that are only in my gallery every month. So like Tom Jackson, Eric Amundsen, Royal Jarman, my husband Bill Stamats, Marcus Irvin, Shane McAllister, Will Rimal are my regular. Oh, and Grant William Ty are my regular stable. And I help promote them, and they're the first ones I promote because they're really good, they're well crafted, and they're very well sold all over the United States.
Awesome. And so this business model is working for you.
I probably changed my business model in the last 2 years about every 6 months. But
you're earning a living doing this?
I am earning a living. When I get paid myself, I'll be a happy woman.
Okay.
But the whole thing is that I did this mostly because of my husband, because he's been an artist forever. And it's a passion. And so I promote the artist. That's the whole thing. I promote the artist. So all these people in my juried shows, I promote them. I promote them locally and regionally and nationally, and I try to sell all of them. They're really good.
And do you have, it's working.
It is definitely working.
But are you saying that you don't make it? And we've interviewed quite a few business people who have started out new and been like Jennifer Murray downstairs.
Yeah.
I dumped my job, Murphy. Sorry, I dumped my job, and I am now making 5 figures instead of 6. Kind of these big life change kind of things.
I would love that. I'm not there yet. I've been in business for 2 years, and I've changed my business model. And it's not blinking anymore.
It's on a weird timer. I'll get it again.
Okay.
It's all right.
Why do I notice that?
Because you're good.
No.
Why would it be on a timer if it's on video? We probably have
probably because I flip my hair too many times.
9 million
and I
stills
do this,
of her.
I do. And I flip my hair and it goes, She's flipping her fucking hair again. Oh my God. Because she really has curly hair and it stays in place, but when she has long hair, it goes in her face.
Well, his daughter's been straightening her hair and it looks so beautiful. But man, it's a lot of work.
Has, very kinky, very curly hair, right? And my wife and I, I'll do her hair. I'll comb her hair out and I'll put it in.
Seriously?
Yeah, but it takes hours, to go through the rats and everything.
This is so hard for me to do. I don't do this in the summer. because I walk outside, it goes.
Yeah,
No.
maybe it'll be. We were taking her to
I kind of like
an African American beautician.
Yeah.
So that she could get her hair braided and stuff like that. But it would take
Long time.
forever.
My favorite's when she has like the Erykah Badu fro. Man, I love that. Looks so cool.
That's
But her
I
hair looks good
think
straight too. It's just
this-
different.
This. I have really good friends, and I say, do the fro, man. It's super fucking cool.
Fros are awesome.
Seriously. Oh my God. If I could have Lord's hair, I would be a heavy woman.
Lord's hair.
The
She's a
musician.
singer.
You really have the
musician.
thing about Lords. Why do you like Lords
she's
so much?
super cool.
She's so young.
I know.
I just can't get over how young she is.
How young
Fine.
is she?
17.
Is she?
I wish. I don't wish I was 17, but I wish I was younger.
Is she hot?
She's
She's
super
pretty.
hot.
She's
You know,
pretty.
you know
Kind
what?
of different, unique looking.
Actually, yeah, she's not, when she turns her face, she's not super attractive, but she's so exotic.
She is exotic looking. I'll give you that.
Super exotic.
Huh.
Ugh.
All
To
right.
each their
But
own when
she's,
it comes
well,
to
she's
beauty.
now, she's
and-
19. She's my daughter.
Oh,
so
she's
it's
19
like,
now.
oh,
Because
fuck.
when Lords, when Royals came out, she was young.
Oh, maybe she's 18. Yeah.
She was like, it was 2 years ago. So
We
she
saw
was
her.
young.
We saw her last year at Lollapalooza. A great performer. Oh my God, she's
Awesome.
like super trippy.
Some people are just meant to do shit like that.
I know.
When you're that, I mean,
And she's like right
fuck,
next.
at 16
Okay,
and
so
have my
last
shit
night,
together.
my favorite thing about the music awards, she's right next to Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift said this, and Lord's like, and I'm like, she's so much fucking cooler than you, and she won again. She won. Oh, I have a 5 octave, a 5 thing range, and I'm like, win just because I have big red lips. Oh my God, I can't stand Taylor Swift.
in 19, her new album is called
I think we hit
1980.
a nerve.
No, wait. You know why? I was okay with her because she was country western, and then she sang with Stevie Nicks. You guys know Stevie Nicks?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the 19 whatever. Look at Stevie Nicks and Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is off key. And Stevie Nicks is like, look, she sucks. She can't sing. She can only sing in her own octave range, and I don't think that's a great thing.
Hey, man, talk
When
about
my
somebody
daughter-
who's utilized social media.
Totally. She's
Twitter and
good
Facebook,
PR.
man, I'm telling you, and Instagram, it's insane.
That's what I do too. Not as good as Taylor Swift.
Well, when you have a
But okay,
when you
so
have
my
a
daughter
million
has
people,
a 4 octave range in opera, which is unusual. Taylor Swift doesn't have that. She's just
I
promoted.
don't really care for her. very
Did
much.
your daughter do the did she go to state for vocals?
She does all that stuff. She
All that
studied with Carla Gettle here in town, who's a wonderful opera singer. And she's at Simpson College. My daughter's at Simpson College right now doing opera and vocal performance.
Wow.
And she's a diva. You're like,
Really?
oh.
Well, it's mom and daughter.
You talk,
Every
yeah,
mom
you
and
talk about
daughter,
your
right?
daughter. I talk
Yeah.
about my son. You
Yeah.
don't talk about your sons. Why? Because they're like,
Well,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
yet. Not yet.
they're young.
They're,
They're young.
we will.
they're mama's boys big time.
Oh yeah.
See? You know, I think that's important though. Why not let us have mama's boys?
And see, my 10-year-old and I
Daddy
get along just fine
girls.
because he and my wife are identical individuals.
See?
and they
my son
bash
and I.
heads
All right,
and
all
they
right.
can't all the time.
Oh, okay. See this
It's
picture?
Family Hour on the Primal Scream podcast.
All right, now wait. Now see this picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's by one of my very talented artists, Royal Jarman. He's in Brooklyn, New York now. He moved there. That's my son.
Oh,
Does
cool.
that look like me? A little bit. The eyes.
Can't see.
Oh, yeah.
Put a beard on you.
The top left.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah. It's kind of creepy. My son is mine. He's mine.
How long have you been married?
28 years. Just Saturday
Fuck
night.
me.
Yeah, I know.
28
No, I
years.
won't because I'm married.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I told you I'm 50 fucking one. I'm a lot
Still,
older than
you don't-
But
You
that's,
don't- you
that's
don't
a
look
very
51, but
that's
that's
a phenomenal
amazing.
thing in today's day and
Nowadays?
age. I mean, that's,
I know.
You're part of the minority.
That's
I mean,
true.
like the minority of the minority.
You're the 1%. You're the 1%.
You're the 1%.
You're the 1%, not the bad 1%, but the good 1%.
Well, like my wife and I see things on TV. Oh, they just celebrated their 68th wedding anniversary. I was like, we can't do that if we tried.
No.
Even if we wanted to, we couldn't live that long.
I will not be married for 68 years. I will kill myself. No, it's
That's an accomplishment. Congratulations. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
They just like stood each other for whatever they did. I didn't know each other were alive. I'm so sorry.
It was an arranged marriage, and you had.
It was that.
That's a long time, though.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
No, 28 years. No, I told you I knew him since I was 10. It was not arranged. I never thought I'd date my husband ever because he went off to prep school out at Deerfield Academy outside of Massachusetts, and he went to Pratt, New York. He was like, gone. And Bill's dad and my dad, my husband's dad and my dad became friends because Bill's dad became a hot air balloonist, and my dad was the crew chief. He was driving the SUV with the trailer in the back, following the balloon across the country.
Wow.
I know, it's really
That's
trippy.
cool.
I'm thoroughly confused, and I'll tell you why.
That's all right.
On your website, there's About Us. There's an About Us tab.
Yeah.
Right? I click on the About Us tab. I'm doing some background on you, and there's an article. Do you know what I'm getting? Do you know where I'm getting
Which
at?
Which one?
The artist widow opens.
I know. Okay, so that was like really bad Gazette. I said I'm an artist widow because my husband just does art all the time, and they took it in fact, somebody said, "What the fuck? Did Bill die?" I'm like, no.
I read the title, and then I'm going through the article going, where exactly does she say she's a widow? Where exactly does she?
And
then, so I read that title, and I go, all right, I'm not going to say anything about the husband stuff because I thought, was this a second
my husband. No.
Has she moved on? Bill, you're replaceable. I'm just kidding.
Or else Bill was the replacement. No.
Yeah.
No. That was just I said, I'm an artist, golf widow. Somebody who plays golf all the time. The woman is the widow. Well, I'm an art widow because Bill does art all the time.
I see.
Seriously.
Yeah, I was
He's doing
wondering.
art right now.
I'm so sorry. I'm so glad.
No, I saw that. I saw that, and I thought,
I'm not a widow. Not yet.
How does this play out?
He's allergic to nuts. He better be nice to me. I'm just kidding.
Allergic to nuts.
There's some peanut butter. There you go.
No, not peanuts. Tree nuts. Specific. Here's an almond.
Oh.
Here's an almond.
Would that shut him down big time? He had an almond?
Not enough.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, there are some people who are like that.
No, seriously. Okay, so he travels, and I'm like, are there any walnuts or any tree nuts in any of the dressings or the crust and Bill's like, I seem to survive without you around me. I said,
I say that to my wife all the time.
Is she allergic?
No, she says. I said, I've driven for 40.
What?
I've driven a car for almost,
you're a little too
35
close to the
years.
edge.
That's different.
Let me
That's
do
totally
my thing.
different. I know.
No, it's not.
I'm a horrible.
It's similar.
Except for last Saturday on our anniversary. I saw double when I was driving. That was bad.
That's not good.
No, and we were only half a block from
We don't
our house.
endorse
I'm like,
those things.
We don't
oh my
endorse
God.
that kind of behavior.
No, neither do I.
Mhm.
I was half a block from home. I said, oh my God, I'm seeing double. But maybe it was the two deer that I saw.
Let's go with the two deer.
I think maybe it was a deer. Since you're seeing double, it wasn't deer.
No,
you didn't see
I think
two
it was
deer.
two deer, and I thought I was seeing double. But it was two deer, not just one. I was seeing double. No, it was good.
Do you have when you walk into a museum or you walk into a showroom and you're looking at art, you already said the picture that made you cry.
Starry Night.
Starry Night by Van Gogh.
Right.
Van Gogh.
What is what's your go-to art that you just love? Or do you just appreciate
Anything
it
new.
all?
Just like music, I go into a gallery, so I go to New York, I go to Chelsea, not impressed, because it's all very esoterical and
Uppity.
but not everything. I walk into a gallery, and if I like it, I stay and I talk to the gallerist. If I don't like it, I walk out in 5 minutes. Like I'm saying, it has to hit you viscerally. And I do not blame anybody because everybody has different tastes and everybody has.
So you don't say to yourself, "God, that sucked." It was just
I totally say it sucks.
Oh, I thought you just said it doesn't
what
impact.
What the fuck is this?
It doesn't impact me, so there's got to be somebody somewhere who can appreciate it.
I didn't
maybe.
expect that
Me either.
reaction.
No, me either.
No. What the fuck? No, seriously. I told you I'd say that. I'm sorry. I've been saying that a lot.
So you
lately.
can look at a piece of artwork and go, "What the fuck were they thinking?"
Well, unfortunately, and this is having hubris. I'm very discriminating about what I like and what I don't like, and I can tell when it's just like
not there. You're not there.
You are just in it for the money and the promotion, and there's nothing behind it. There's no craftsmanship, and I see that in New York all the time.
Seems empty.
So your judge, right?
Okay, which one? Which one?
No, let's just say that you have a bunch of people that send you art.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's a real thing. They send you a bunch of art. Your judge comes in. You're looking at all the art. Do you ever sit down with the judge and go, no, right away?
Depends on the
20%
judge. You know why?
Out.
Okay, so my judge for this show, Sean Ulmer, he's been a curator at the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art for 8 years, and now he's the director.
You're doing great.
Yeah, you're not.
Do you think
you're
I'm
not slurring your words yet?
Yet I should speak more slowly because then I'm not. Do you think I'm going to tell him how to choose his show? Absolutely not. I trust him. I love his taste. And the thing is, I've had young artists come to me before this show and said, "How do I get into your show?" I said, "Not through me. I can't. I cannot cross that line of assuming that, okay, I lied."
By having a judge, it kind of gets you off the hook.
It does. It does. However, I always include my own artists in the show. However, Grant William Ty, right here,
Okay.
he does not do figures, so he's not in the show. But Marcus, my husband, Royal, Eric, Tom, Will, and Shane are all in my show because they do have figures, and I know I have really good taste, and I would not take them if they're hard to handle, personality-wise. Learned that at Corner House, or if they were not good craftsmen. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
I'm not familiar with the whole judge thing. That's really interesting.
Well,
to have somebody else come in and kind of pick your show for you.
Well,
but
okay,
it makes
so
sense.
I have a lot of young artists come and say, "How do I show in your gallery?" And I'm like, well, you can't. Because, and I have, in the juried shows is kind of a safety net for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of lets me put them down gently. But it also, if I see them and I like them, I take them. But, okay, so you're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and here's my art. I'm so great. You may be the best artist in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, but all of a sudden, what if you're judged against somebody in Omaha or Kansas City or Minneapolis or New York or Kansas or Colorado or... the whole thing is that because of the internet, and I said this before, it flattened the art world. So you guys, you judge yourself against who?
Joe Rogan.
All right, but it's national.
Right.
Exactly. If you judge yourself against somebody here, it's a very, very small...
There's nobody.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
People.
Me
yeah.
too.
Right.
I know. I think that I have the best gallery in town because of what I do. It's not meaning I have the best art for corporate or personal home because that's a little bit more mainstream and traditional, which is not a bad thing. But I'm comparing myself to people in Chicago, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Denver. How do I compete with them? Because the internet, anybody can look up anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And and you guys are against that too.
Is that a good thing? What do you think about it?
It is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Because do I want to be the big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond?
Right.
I'd rather be a small fish in a big pond and do really well.
Because, I mean, there's some people that talk about the internet having kind of ruined things.
Well, I like
they have, but you have to embrace it.
But I like the fact that,
changed.
if it wasn't for the internet, she wouldn't be able to reach around the world and have
Exactly.
people send her art from around the world,
Right.
and then
or have buyers from around the world. I assume, too.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, and especially if PCI comes to you and says, hey, we want this kind of artwork, well, you're not stuck to this small, narrow thing. You can...
Right. Well, okay. So on the corporate level, and I don't know if I've already said this because I don't remember.
It's 2 drinks ago.
When I go, when I go to a corporate client, they say, well, we like this artist, this artist, this artist. We love them. We're landscape artists or whatever. But I don't want to look like St. Luke's Hospital, Mercy Hospital, the Cancer Center, because all the galleries before me in the old business model did a fabulous job with filling all the places in Cedar Rapids. I mean, Des Moines has the same thing with Moberg Gallery. You look at their website, they use all the same artists for every single client that they do. And that is wonderful because those artists are so talented.
Being very nice.
But, but I do like it. I do like what they end up with. I really, really do. And it's not a bad thing. But when I have a corporate client come to me and say, we like this, but we want to be a little different. How do I find that? That eliminates 50 or 60 artists that I know regionally. That's why I started doing the juried shows, because I can find new artists from all over the world, all over the United States, that I can fill their stuff with. Now, granted, this is not a show that I would probably fill corporate art with, but I do find some. And like my landscape show, I had like three artists that had like commissions and sales, and then this one I've had 2, maybe 3 potential. The whole thing is that you just have to realize that people are going to buy art the way that they want. It has to be visceral. If you think for one moment that you're going to make people buy art that they don't like you, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy shit. You can't do that.
This seems
Radical.
corporate in a way that I can see those fitting.
Sure.
But I would have that in my house.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You know what?
Whereas where this might not be corporate. You know what I mean?
No, that's totally okay. Now, when you
the pieces that
when
can,
I can see that in some bosses that I've known. I can see that in their offices.
Yeah,
that's some of the bosses have been.
No, but that's a really good point. That's a good point. And the thing is that I have found there are 2 different collectors of original art. There are the people who absolutely love and promote the landscapes and the still lifes and whatever. And I love that because I love, there's a lot of landscapers I love. And then there's 3 abstract artists, the abstract appreciators, and then there's portrait artists. And I have to say that the portrait artists are the hardest, most discriminating people to sell to. When I'm in a land of landscapes, this is brilliant. He he doesn't like this to be promoted, but he's from Austin, Minnesota, which is spam capital of the world. Right? Okay. Austin, Minnesota? Spam. He was in a football tackle at 16, broke his neck. He's a quadriplegic. He's brilliant.
And so he does this how? With his teeth?
He wrote for years because he's so smart. And he lives in Key West now because it's easy for him to get around. And that's where we met him, over martinis. It was fabulous. He's like, hey, what are you having? I'm like, I'm having a Grey Goose up. He's like, that's my drink too. I'm like, we're friends. And then we started talking. And he is a brilliant artist. He's gotten really incredibly good over the last 5 years that I've known him. Anyway, there's some, you can put this in. There's some collectors in Des Moines that have purchased stuff from my gallery because they're portrait artists and they're portrait collectors. And that is the best thing. I mean, my husband and I collect portraits. We have this, that's ours because it's our son. I'm like, oh, did you need money because you totally did our son? Of course we'd buy it. But we also have Diego Lazansky, and we have all sorts of other portraits. But portraits are hard to sell because it's too much information for most people. Think about it. What would you buy in here?
Me personally,
The Naked Woman.
I love that one. I like the heads. I like the dude right there.
I know.
That's awesome.
This guy is in at Kirkwood.
This picture of the woman putting on,
Love that.
that's probably my absolute favorite piece in
And I
here.
have to show you.
And I like the gas masks.
I know. So do
Only
I.
because
All right, well, you guys are more educated than most. All right?
why?
Because I'm telling you that to collect portraits are a lot of information. And to be able to appreciate and buy portraits shows a higher, it's not a bad thing. It just is. I mean, the thing is like, I like Mexican food. But I like certain Mexican food. I don't like really different Mexican food. I maybe like,
La Cantina downtown.
My God, I love La Cantina.
That's our family
The
favorite.
Canero, the pork thing.
We're at my wife and I are like chicken. They're chicken taquitos.
Oh!
We just walk in and our kids we sometimes
Are we going
force.
there later? Are we going there later? No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God.
But we force our kids to have Mexican food sometimes because they have chicken nuggets at home. So why don't they have it there? Anyways, I digress. We
right.
love the chicken.
No, I'm
Taquitos
I'm
the best.
digressing with you too.
I'm
because
pulling
I'm
you way out of this food thing. I'm going to bring back to
Sorry.
art.
That's okay.
The other thing that I really
You're
like,
fascinated.
I love the gas mask collection.
Makes you think.
It does make me think. I love the one that I talked about earlier, but I also like that one in the corner because
Which one? The big blue one or the
the big blue one.
All right, that's one of my newest artists.
And
Surrealism.
I love it because you could take a 5-inch square,
Yep.
and
I told him, I
it's
said-
almost like laying down in the summertime, looking at clouds, and you can create a story or a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, do you see this? Do you see that?
Or it's a
In that
dream.
picture, 5 by 5.
Is
If you really
one.
zoom into that could be its own picture.
I know. I told him I said,
There's like a million stories in there that you can come up with.
and he's really interesting. He works. Marcuso Irvin. He works down at Ecolips, the lip balm company.
And he's the
But-
one that made that?
Yeah, and he actually graduated from Washington High School here in Cedar Rapids, like 4 years behind me. Which I did not know him because it was a 3-year high school. Because I'm so seriously, it was a 4-year high school when he started, or the year after. Anyway, so he went to school here. He's from Cedar Rapids. He went to Pratt Institute in New York City, where my husband went, in Brooklyn, I should say. And all of a sudden, he ended up with some people that, in the 1990s, we need somebody to help us with Blue Man Group. Yeah. And he paints that shit. And he sold everything he's ever painted. He's brilliant. He's quiet. And he works for Steve Schreiber. And I saw his stuff.
Damn
and
it,
I'm like,
Steve, once
Steve's
again.
got the lockdown on
he's
different
a
artists, doesn't he?
super secret spy. I love him.
It almost feels, I think it'd be a challenge to find one of his employees that doesn't have a unique talent.
Exactly. That's the
that
whole
he's really
thing.
good at.
Exactly. I totally
Well,
agree.
you surround
I totally
yourself with
agree.
talented people, you're going to be successful. He's a bright guy. He knows what the hell he's doing.
He does, but he's not only bright. I mean, because it doesn't end there. He's creative, and he goes. He's emotive.
Yeah, but he's a nurturer of that.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
Because
why
he took us on a tour.
He's like fucking Miracle Grow for
Yeah, he is
for
totally. I love
inventive,
that.
creative people.
Because we had
he's
Tino
Miracle Grow.
Cruz on, who was one of his back staff people.
I know what the hell.
And he's great. He's performing Friday night somewhere around here.
Well,
Oh,
we're
that's right.
going on. Okay, so he is married to Andrea, who is like super cool chick.
Yeah, she's neat.
Yeah,
Love
she is.
her. And she went to Washington High School as well. And her brother, I went to school with, Brad, who they all own Bohemia.
Mhm.
And I know all of them. I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea you guys were related. And it's so super creepy. We all had Dumbledore for our principal, which was, what was his name? Dumbledore at Washington.
I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Oh my God, give me a
But I
break.
tell you what,
We're
Chuck
not-
Kavanaugh on the first floor of this
Oh, I
building.
love Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck's awesome.
Yeah, he went to Wash.
Of course.
No, he didn't go to
everybody-
Wash.
Yeah, he
No,
went to Wash.
Kennedy?
He went to Regis.
Oh,
He went to Regis.
Oh, did
With
he? I thought he went
that's
to
how I know
Wash.
Chuck is my
That's
wife. My
okay.
wife.
Oh, that's right. That's
Because-
right.
everyone who thinks everyone who went to Regis went to Wash because they're so cool.
That's not what I heard.
But if you want like a conglomerate of just amazingly cool, creative people, you should come
It's
down
here.
to the Cherry,
Cherry
building,
Building.
yeah.
in the Nubo district,
Which is the one
Cedar
reason
Rapids,
every time
Iowa.
we're down here, every time we have little discussions, it's like, Chuck's like, don't you want to have a space down here? I'm like, yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of need a computer to process our
Okay, so, all right, now my dad,
All right.
my dad
Go ahead.
said, aren't you kind of scared down there? I'm like,
Scared? Why would you be scared?
It used to be a
My
really
dad-
horrible neighborhood.
it
Really
did.
bad
It was
neighborhood.
Yeah.
super sketchy. In fact,
Yeah.
I run the 2x2 by You, which is a totally public event participation. I mean, your daughters and sons could do it. And it's every year, and it's, it used to be, you get a 2x2 by You, plywood board, and we have a theme, and you could do whatever you want. 5-year-olds to 70-year-olds do it. And then what we do is we put it all over the neighborhood to kind of like spruce up the abandoned buildings. But now there's not that much. So what we do is we have these tripods that we mount them on to decorate the neighborhood because it's a truly public event. Anybody
That's
can do
cool.
it. So what was I going with that?
Wow.
Bohemia, talented
Your
area.
dad should come
My
down to the
dad.
Cherry
No, it's
building.
about
Your
my
dad.
dad.
Said it's super
Oh,
sketch.
am I safe? Okay.
Yeah,
so
you're
it used
safe.
to be sketchy. Anyway, so Russ Fagel, who has a gallery just down the
Yep.
way, and he has this wonderful little boy that he fosters. And one time, I don't know what happened. It was late in the afternoon, and Russ was on the phone, and I saw him. He walked around. He was walking. It was obviously a private conversation, probably for work. And his little guy came out in the hallway and said, Russ! And screamed, and like 10 people came out into the hallway and said, what is wrong? And it was because all those people were like, everyone's here. I mean, I could go next door. It's a family. It's a family
Right.
here in the Cherry building.
Yeah,
I
it
could
sure
count on
seems
anybody.
like
Yeah, you bring
I
up
could
one
go
person,
downstairs.
everybody's like, "Oh no, I know him." I know
Yeah,
him.
or you just say, "Oh my God, I need help. I'm upstairs," and blah blah blah. And everybody is a family here. That's what I like.
That's cool. Katie, who has the new personal training spot
Yes, I was
upstairs.
going to say Kitty Hill, my friend from Mortuary Lift Company.
No.
No.
I'd love to have her on though. That'd be fun.
She would be fun. She's crazy.
Cool. And maybe she can
Actually,
hook us up with
you-
Mike Rowe.
You got a little nervous look in your eye. You look
About
like you.
what?
Yeah, you look like you had a nervous look in your eye.
Because
About
of Katie.
is it Katie? She gonna, why?
I don't know. I don't know
I know
why.
she's
I'm
pretty
just.
sexy.
Okay.
Is she?
I've never met her.
Is she straight sexy?
She's
I don't know.
my best friend.
Is she straight sexy though?
And so,
She's
That's what
sexy. Yeah.
All right.
I want my hair to be like her. This
and
is what
she
her
started.
hair is like.
I mean, how'd she start that company? That's crazy.
Mortuary Lift. It was. She's a 4th generation
Oh.
mortician. She's from Gurnee, Illinois, and we go to Chicago and stay at their place up in Ravenswood like every other month. But she, her father was a huge entrepreneur, and he bought this weird little company called Mortuary Lift, and they made ceiling-mounted body lifts for funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals. And she used to make them with a blast mask in her garage out in back of their house in Gurnee, Illinois. And basically the unit, I used to sell it. It's like bridge crane. I used to sell bridge cranes. You know what those are?
No.
Tracks on either side. You'll see them in huge companies and manufacturing There's tracks on either side and a track across
A huge
this way.
train goes back and
Yeah,
forth
it goes back
on
and
the
forth.
I-beams, basically.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. I
Yeah.
used to sell those,
I used
but
to-
on a smaller
And that's
system.
what she
I
makes.
used to run them.
She makes them. Okay, then you know.
Yeah, I know.
So her lift is on a bridge crane system,
Yeah.
and she's the best. She's the best in the business.
How did she? When you talk about blasting
Well,
things,
she used
it's
to
a-
make them. It's welding. You weld
Oh, okay.
the whole
So she welded all
machine.
Yeah.
together. Okay.
But she
You
was
all right?
a,
She said blasting. I'm like, is there dynamite involved or
no.
firecrackers?
She
I
has
fucking-
those masks that, like, when you turn on the torch, it goes.
Oh, cool.
I know. I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
I love welding.
Blackout. Yeah.
I would like to get back into the welding thing, but his welder's not powerful enough, which means I need to get a more powerful welder.
It's true.
I'm not getting into that conversation. Mine's bigger than yours.
You know what? I'm comfortable enough in my own welding skills to know that mine's too small.
And I'm uncomfortable. I'm comfortable enough knowing that I don't even have a welder, so I'm okay. So I don't have to worry about size at all.
Oh no!
There's
I'm
nothing
snorting.
involved.
I'm snorting.
She snorted. She
snorted.
I do snort.
She's
I do
listening.
snort.
All right, listen.
Are we done?
She's starting to snort. I'm drinking, and I got to drive. So,
I'm driving too.
what's coming up for you? What should we promote?
Okay.
Is the next thing going to be in March?
Actually, no.
Okay.
December 6th, Saturday, December 6th, and Sunday, December 7th. The Very Cherry Holiday is happening, and all this whole event, this whole stuff, everything will be gone, and I will have a whole new show. But the whole Cherry Building's open, and we will be having music and vocals and wine and cheese and treats, and the whole building's open for the Very Cherry
The
Very Cherry Holiday.
Is that part of the buy local, buy a small business at the same weekend? Kind of?
I don't know if it's the same weekend, but
Okay.
yeah.
It's along
Buy
kind of
local,
promoting
buy-
that stuff.
Yeah,
Anyways.
totally.
Okay. Sure.
Because it's all local people, and it's everything. I'm going to have small. Well, that's not small. I'm going to have small stuff from all my artists. You know, I call it grab and go for gifts. You know, that's I'm shopping.
And
in
so
my
that's
own.
December
6th and 7th.
and 7th.
6th and 7th.
About 1,000 people come through.
We'll be
that
here.
whole weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah. And, you know,
Great
buy
weekend.
what you want. You know, you got Chuck Kavanaugh on the first floor. You've got gift certificates from Illuminations. You've got, you know,
Michelle
gallery
is
stuff.
great. She was on our podcast.
You know, I
Yeah.
know you can also do, you know, I'm going to buy massages for people, and
Mhm.
you know, you got to give people events. You can't give people things anymore except for art. But
Except for art.
but art is a visceral thing. You know,
I think it'd be hard. Now, my wife bought me this guitar player that I just loved, and I still love it.
Player.
Yes, it's a guitar player. A guy playing a
guitar
guitar.
player.
That's the painting she got.
Oh, yeah,
me.
yeah,
And I
painting.
love it. But see, I would have a difficult time buying a piece of art for somebody else. As if I like it, what if they don't?
Well,
like
I
it?
sell gift certificates.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because if you like for weddings and stuff, if you want a gift certificate, and it's good in that forever, because how do I know that I'm going to have something that they're going to like
Right.
within a year or 2 years, whatever, you know? So you can buy gift certificates at my gallery for that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Awesome. And if you want more information on that, go to blackearthgallery.com.
.com.
Simple. Super simple. Kind of like tpspproductions.com.
Oh, like TSP. I
Kinda
love
like
that.
TPSP Productions.
Yeah.
Or you can go to YouTube, check out our videos, type in TPSP Productions or the Primal Scream Podcast. That's probably going to be better. The Primal Scream Podcast. That'll take you to
I like
a lot
that
of our
name better.
videos. The Primal Scream.
Primal
Yeah.
Scream.
Yeah, Steve
I
loves
do
that.
that.
Steve loves that.
Yes, like that.
Sorry.
So
How
go
is
to
that
that-
out of your ears?
I just came out of my skin. Go ahead, finish up.
You got chills. You just got chills up your spine. Just wait.
Heat
Just
flash
wait, sweetie.
from my
I see it in your
ears
face.
all the way down to my
Look, it's like all
toes.
red.
So go to our YouTube page, check out our
Is that
videos.
better?
You can go back
Much
to
better.
all our different episodes. Check that stuff out. Check out blackearthgallery.com. You can look at the different artists, you can read a little about us on that tab. You can also look at their upcoming events.
Yes.
Yeah? So check that stuff out. Thanks again to It Works.
Peace out.
And also, It Works. Ecolips. Thank you very much.
Sweet Raw Joy.
Sweet Raw Joy. Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
All that stuff. All those products are great. Go to their websites. We talked about them earlier. That's what I'm telling you to do. Go do that. Todd.
Yes.
This is where you tell me what to do. Or tell everybody else what to do.
Go to tpsbproductions.com. While you're there, you can like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. You can download us and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. Make sure you write a review. Let us know
Do
how
a
the fuck
review.
you think we're doing.
Comment
a
little bit.
Yeah, fill us in. You want something new on here? You want us to talk about something in particular?
Todd
Yes,
talked too much.
Ideas.
Yeah.
Ideas,
different subjects.
Fill us in. Let us know.
While
you're on tpsbproductions.com, you can also see all the other podcasts that we have. What are some of those podcasts?
Some of those other podcasts. Steve Shriver. We've had...
podcasts that we produce. Or that
other podcasts.
TPSP Productions
that I produce?
That you produce, yeah.
Because I work with another guy for TPSP Productions, and we produce other people's podcasts, which is kind of fun. It's really neat. Give people a creative outlet. So if you want to have like a TMZ type of a podcast, we allow you to come in and do that type of recording to see if you like it for free. Within a month, if you do that and you like it, then we go forward and we set you up with a podcast. But some podcasts that we do, where has the bandwagon been?
Rob of Rock and Rob has been on hiatus.
Okay. But they're going to be coming back strong. So keep looking for them. But we have that. We also have the Count to 10 podcast. It's great for parents and teachers who have troubled kids and they want to have some idea of how to handle different situations with troubled kids. Yeah. Or just with kids having issues going back to school or things like that. Simple. It doesn't have to be drastic. It can be simple things.
Your daughter likes them.
My daughter loves them. She actually
talk
does.
To me.
my daughter actually likes them quite a bit. So look at that. And hopefully in the future, we have some comedians that would like to start doing their own podcast on TBSP Productions. And Matt, I might be doing a podcast somewhat midlife-y.
Midlife crisis.
Midlife-y. And that will only be audio, no video, unless something drastically changes. But look for that in the next coming months. Right? Is that it? Did I name it everything?
I think you hooked them all up.
All right. Remember, YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, do all those things, and check out the Black Earth Gallery, or come down here December 6th and 7th.
Ann,
awesome.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Ann.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming.
It's
been great. We're busy people, right?
Good ending. Happy ending.
Yep, for sure.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
I'm Ann.
We'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night.